Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going beyond just listing behaviors. We're trying to unlock the why behind the choices we make, especially when things feel uncertain.
Exactly. We've got this really interesting source material that digs into these, deeply ingrained psychological patterns, how they shape our reactions.
And knowing about them, really knowing, can apparently make a huge difference to, outcomes.
That's the core idea. It's less about just the win or loss and more about understanding the tendencies driving us when there's, risk or chance involved.
Recognizing your own style, like the source lays out, seems like it could be pretty clarifying.
Profoundly so, I think.
Okay, before we really jump in, though, we absolutely need to say, this deep dive is purely for informational purposes.
Right. We're exploring ideas from a source that discusses patterns around risk and betting behavior.
But we are definitely not encouraging gambling. Please, always engage responsibly, follow your local laws. Always. So let's unpack this framework. The source breaks things down into 6 distinct behavioral archetypes, almost like blueprints, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, blueprints for how people approach activities inviting chance. And what's really insightful, I think, is that these aren't just betting types. No, they feel like fundamental patterns, how we engage with uncertainty sort of across the board. Understanding these tendencies, the deep-seated ones, that's the real game changer, according to the source.
Okay, so where do we start? What's the first type?
Well, the first one is the casual fan. This is someone who's really just in it for fun, for the entertainment value. Usually not much money involved.
Like the example they gave. Betting on a team because its name sounds cool.
Exactly that. It's all about the experience itself, not really about winning big or applying strategy. It's light.
Yeah, I think most of us can relate to that at some point, right? Just having a bit of fun with it.
For sure.
But then things can shift, can't they? What happens when, feelings get involved?
Well, that leads us straight to the second type, the emotional bettor. Now, these folks are driven by really strong feelings.
Like what? Loyalty.
Loyalty, definitely, or deep frustration from losing before. Sometimes even this desire for revenge against a previous outcome.
And the source mentions they tend to chase losses.
Very much so. That's a key marker. They might ignore logic, ignore the odds. The example given is someone doubling down right after their favorite team loses. Raw emotion, just completely overriding strategy.
It's that classic human thing, isn't it? Reacting to loss by trying to win it back immediately. We see that everywhere.
We do. It's a powerful impulse.
So we've got fun, we've got emotion. What about when the main driver is, like, the deal itself? The offer.
Right. That brings us neatly to the bonus hunter. This person is basically looking for the promotions, the free bets, the deposit matches, odds boosts, whatever looks like a good deal.
Sounds appealing, but is there a catch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The source puts up a big warning flag here. You have to read the fine print, understand those heavy rollover requirements.
Rollover. Meaning
you often have to bet your bonus amount, sometimes plus your deposit, many, many times over before you can actually withdraw any winnings derived from it.
So it's not really free money then.
Not usually, no. If you don't check those terms carefully, that bonus can be less of a boost and more of a trap almost.
Okay, so the bonus hunter chases the offer. Now, what about people who try to strip all that away? The emotion, the bonuses, and just focus on the numbers.
Now you're talking about the stats guy. Or gal, of course. This type relies heavily, heavily on data.
Spreadsheets.
Models.
All of the above. Spreadsheets, complex models, maybe even writing code to find an edge. And the source suggests they can be more successful long term.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
But there's a real risk of over-analysis, getting lost in the details. They mentioned someone charting goals per minute by weather condition.
Oh, that's granular.
Extremely. You can end up missing the bigger picture, Missing the forest for the incredibly detailed trees. The human element can get lost. I can see that. Okay, so that's the analytical extreme. What about the other end? People chasing that one huge win.
That would be the accumulator dreamer. They tend to bet small amounts, but they're aiming for those really large payouts.
Usually through things like parlays or accumulators.
Exactly. Multi-leg bets, a case they're often called, combining several outcomes into one big bet. And the source points out something really interesting here.
What's that?
How near wins fuel this behavior. Getting maybe 5 legs out of 6 right on a big accumulator. That feeling of being so close.
The almost won't effect. That can be incredibly powerful, can it? More motivating than just losing outright sometimes.
Definitely. That rush keeps them coming back, even if the actual odds are very long. It's a strong psychological hook.
Okay, one more type left.
The last one is the sharp, also called the pro. This is someone who is highly disciplined, very data-driven. Their whole focus is on ROI.
Return on investment.
Right. They manage their bankroll meticulously. They're always shopping lines, comparing odds everywhere to find the absolute best value.
So they treat it like a business, essentially.
Pretty much. But what's fascinating is the source notes their very success can cause problems. They might get limited by sportsbooks because they win too consistently.
Limited, as in they can't bet as much.
Exactly. And the source really hammers home a key point here, relevant for anyone in situations involving risk or uncertainty. Discipline equals long-term survival.
Discipline. That seems to be the defining trait.
For the sharp, absolutely.
So we've got these 6 types: the casual fan, emotional bettor, bonus hunter, stats guy, accumulator dreamer, and the sharp. What does identifying these tendencies actually mean for you listening right now?
Well, the source really emphasizes that this self-awareness is more than just interesting. It's crucial. Crucial for adapting your approach, not just in betting, but in any area where your patterns might affect outcomes.
So it's about using that knowledge.
Precisely. And it offers some very practical advice based on these types. For instance, if you recognize yourself as maybe more of an emotional type, maybe try implementing a cool down rule. Forcing yourself to wait a set time after a loss before making another decision.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the others?
Well, for a bonus hunter, the advice is clear. Always, always review those rollover terms. Don't get caught out.
And the dreamer?
The accumulator dreamer might benefit from mixing it up. Maybe incorporating some simpler straight bets alongside the big accumulators. It could bring more stability.
So it's not about, forcing a complete personality change.
Not at all. It's more about learning your weak spots, your natural inclinations, and finding ways to balance them out with a bit of strategic thinking. Being aware.
It really does highlight how powerful just knowing yourself can be, doesn't it? Self-awareness as the first step to being more in control.
It really does. And, this prompts a bigger question, I think. How can this kind of self-awareness transform your approach in any domain? Anywhere that ingrained patterns and tendencies might be influencing your results? Far beyond just these specific scenarios.
That is definitely something to think about. We've certainly gained some fascinating insights today into how self-awareness really connects to decision-making, all drawn from how our source categorizes these behavioral patterns.
Yeah, it's a strong reminder that real insight isn't just about the external stuff like stats and odds, although they matter. It's also deeply about understanding our internal landscape, our own tendencies. Like the source says, it's about self-awareness and staying in control.
Absolutely. Now, next time on the deep dive, we're going even further. We'll be exploring what the source calls the underlying mechanics of these kinds of systems. Things like odds, payouts, and margins.
Getting into the nuts and bolts, that should be really interesting.
It should be eye-opening. Until then, here's something for you to consider. What unique patterns do you notice in your own decision-making? Not just with risk, but anywhere. And how might just understanding them, really seeing them, lead you to maybe greater control or perhaps different outcomes altogether?